Brandon Benefield, Gerard Bonner, and Diana Michelle.
What's up, everybody? We're back. It's that time of the week. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for the SHW podcast. This is our wrestling back from our Thanksgiving holiday. I'm B-Double Brandon Benefield alongside GB Gerard Bonner and the lovely Diana Michelle. I'm full of turkey and all kinds of other food, and I need to recover. But how's everybody doing? How are you guys doing?
I didn't even eat any turkey.
Oh.
You've been like anti all of this.
I'm not anti really, not Thanksgiving, but just all the gluttonous of it.
I can't help it.
I
enjoyed it.
So brought this huge spiraled ham. I didn't even touch the ham. I didn't touch the turkey. I did have a little bit of the sides and stuff, and of course I had pie. Of course. But the next day I was like, I'm not eating this again. I'm not eating it again. No turkey sandwiches, no ham buns, no. I'm done.
That noise. Anyway, well, hey, we do have a special guest we want to get to here. You may have heard of him. He's the #1 contender for the SHW title. His name is Kyle Matthews. We're going to get to him here in just a little bit. But GB, we've had a few developments take place, not only with match announcements for SHW 46, but also in the world of Georgia wrestling. What's going on?
A lot has been happening. You take a break and boom. And it happens like this every time. Every time we take a break, something magnanimous happens. So by now you all have heard. Yeah, absolutely. So by now you all have heard, obviously, we're going to have a new SHW champion coming at our next event, which I believe is SHW 46. I have to get my numbers right. Yep. So obviously we'll be talking to the #1 contender about that. But this week, some major news dropped. You guys have heard us talking over the years about the Georgia Wrestling History Awards. It is the space where the wrestling community really kind of comes together and, we vote and honor varying people for the varying things that they do in the sport for the last year. So we've seen best wrestler, technical wrestler, obviously V3, thankfully we are award winners. SHW has won for best promoter or best promotion rather. And we've seen all of the folks. Well, this year we found out, particularly this week, something brand new is going to happen. The Georgia Wrestling History Awards, dare I say, can we call them Beyonce for a hot second? They're getting an upgrade, right? Okay. The upgrade is, I know, Georgia Wrestling History Awards, Beyonce, they've probably never made that comparison before until now. So the great thing that's getting ready to happen for the first time ever, it's the first annual, which I hate saying first annual. It is the first, hopefully of many. How can something be first annual, right? You can be second annual.
I agree.
But inaugural. It is the inaugural Georgia Wrestling History Awards Gala. Yeah, it's a full event. It's an award show and gala. It is happening January the 20th, 2023, at a place that's familiar to us all, the Action Building. And here's what's exciting about this. First of all, you've heard the awards, and if you haven't, you may not have known that the awards are usually presented via podcast, a live podcast that happens. Well, this year, it will be awarded live and in living color, which I just think, the wrestling community is deserving of a night like this. It's going to be a full red carpet affair. So your favorite wrestlers are going to be dressed to the nine. I'm imagining. You can only imagine what V3 is going to pull off. We're already talking about some ideas. But here's what I'm really excited about. Not only is this whole situation a gala, but for the first time, this is open to the public. That's right. You, the SHW faithful, can actually be a part of the GWH award show and gala. Tickets officially went on sale today, and you'll be able to check out the link, which we will post for sure. But tickets are available today. You can get your tickets to be a part of this special event where you will get to see a lot of your favorite wrestlers from all of the Georgia wrestling promotions, including Southern Honor, of course. Your favorite personalities will all be there for what should be a very, very special night. And here's why I think this is important. You know, over time, we've seen like the Hall of Fame for WWE. We've seen the Slammies, right? Anytime you get to award people for their hard work, or at least bring honor to it, it's fantastic. And I want to go ahead and say this, that the gala is designed to be a celebration of the Georgia wrestling community at large. So, you know, it's not even so much, yes, who wins is cool, but the fact that we can all come together and celebrate what we have accomplished in the last year, I think is special. And quite frankly, this doesn't happen without you fans. So I want to implore you to go ahead and get your tickets. Again, we're dropping the link certainly on our social media pages. We've been talking about it. Check out the link. We'll have it in our stories and all these places. So you can get your tickets right now. Unlike SHW, where you can only get it at the door, you can actually get these tickets ahead of time. So you can make plans. You can dress up. We want to see you in your absolute
Red carpet.
best. Yeah, it's a red carpet. There's going to be a DJ. There's going to be a dance floor. There's going to be food.
Dinner.
Like, this is a thing. So I want you to make plans. January the 20th, 2023, the Action Building. We'll be talking more about this over the coming weeks because you'll get to see a lot of your favorite wrestlers in a different environment than you normally see them in. So I'm excited. I think this is great. Shout out to all of the people who were involved in planning this amazing event. And with all that's been happening in the wrestling community, I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen. And I want to see how some of these folks dress when they're not in the wrestling ring. So
I mean,
Yeah,
I've
that's
seen
what
I've seen most of everybody in what was said, their underwear, or I guess you would say, or their tights, or the pants, whatever. But most of the time, the guys are shirtless. I mean, I want to see what we can do with like some ties and some suits and, you know, little bling there. Let's see what we can do.
I'm
also excited because, like I said before, wrestling to me is brought so many different people together as a family, and this is like a huge reunion. Everybody gets to come together and celebrate and dance and just get silly and crazy and just let loose for once, you know, and not have to worry about who's going to be in this 5-minute match, or who's going to take whose title, or who's going to crack somebody in the head with a chair. Let's please don't have any chair cracks at the gala, please.
You know, when this first came out and it was announced that all these different promotions would be involved, when I shared it, my first sentence was, this could be interesting.
Interesting.
So I don't know. I hope that none of that stuff happens, Diana.
Lord, there's no telling what's planned.
But who knows? Yeah. But by the way, GB, I just want to rewind a second. Did you say there would be a dance floor and a DJ?
Yes.
I did. Yes.
Okay. I'm just saying. I have an idea. Ain't nobody seen old B-Dub get down and cut a rug. I'm just saying.
I have not seen it. I'm interested. I'm interested.
This will be fun.
I mean, I knew there was going to be awards presented and stuff, but I didn't realize there was like a dance floor and dancing going on. So I don't know. This could be. Just saying. Just saying.
I'm gonna hire my own videographer.
Do a little break dancing.
All this.
I'm totally just messing. I'm setting you guys up.
You stepped all in that one. You got to do it now.
No, I will tell you, in other parts of my life, I've been able to attend award shows and be a part of these kinds of things. And I'm telling you, it is special. You know, you may not get the opportunity to go to the Grammys or the Oscars or any of those particular spaces, but to go to an award show for pro wrestling, that just seems like a win, right?
Yeah.
And you guys have been watching all of the folks in SHW and in other spaces at the time to honor them. And as fans, you want to be there when they announce the Wrestler of the Year or the Tag Team of the Year or whatever the other awards. And there are a ton of awards. So, make your plans. Remember, January the 20th, put the date on your calendar. Go and get your tickets now. Don't wait until that week. Get them now. Secure your spot. Let's pack the place out and show the entire Georgia wrestling community how much we value all they have done for the last year to keep us entertained in trying times and challenging spaces. For a lot of people, wrestling has been a literal lifesaver. So now we get to support them in a great moment. January the 20th, 2023, the Georgia Wrestling History Award Show and Gala. Don't miss it.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and we hope to see you guys there. This is a first of its kind here in Georgia. The fact that all these different promotions are getting together to put this thing on and be a part of this. So it's pretty amazing to see this happen, especially if you've been following Georgia wrestling for any number of years. You know how it can be with different places butting heads, unnecessarily in my opinion, but the way that different promotions can be towards one another. And the fact over the last few years, you've seen a lot more working together. We've had different promotions defending their titles on our shows, our title being defended on other shows over the last couple of years. So it's been interesting to see the way things have started turning, in my opinion, for the better, for Georgia wrestling as a whole, because that's, it's just making all of Georgia wrestling better. And so very excited for this. Also, yours truly, not just me, but us combined as V3 have actually been asked to present an award. We'll be award presenters, and that'll be the Best Female Performer Award. And so, of course, in one of the promos, or maybe on one of the flyers, you saw some of the other folks that'll be presenting awards. I believe Bill Barron's was on there, Matt Hankins, a number of others. I think All Star Special was going to be presenting an award. So anyways, we were excited to be asked to be presenters.
Very honored. Yes.
So that'd be fun. Be very fun, and we hope to see you all there. But prior to that big event in 2023, we still have SHW 46 to get to, which is next Friday, December 9th, and we're very excited about that show. Next week, when we do the pre-show, we'll delve into the matches, get a little deeper into the preview for that show. Of course, later tonight, we will kind of give you the rundown of the card and touch on that briefly. But before we do all that, as we mentioned at the top of the show, we have a very special guest. His name is Kyle Matthews. He's
Mr.
the new
Technical Wrestler himself.
That's right. The Technical Wrestler Award for GWH Awards is actually named after him, after winning it 8 times. And of course, coming off a big feud and a big match with Chip Day. He's now the #1 contender. We're going to talk about all this stuff with Kyle. So here we go. Let's talk to Kyle Matthews. Well, as we mentioned, we've got a very special guest this week, the one and only Kyle Matthews joining us. Kyle, how you doing? First of all, we're coming off Thanksgiving break. How was your Thanksgiving, buddy?
Oh, it was awesome. I was on a cruise with the fam, so some sun and some fun, and it was great. What about you guys?
Awesome. Wow.
I think we all kind of did some family stuff. I traveled within the state. Now, GB, I know you went to New York, didn't you?
Yeah, I was in Syracuse, New York, with my family, and I am still billing this the best Thanksgiving ever. It was incredible. Oh my gosh. I have too many things to say, but yeah, it was amazing. Amazing.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
And then
I
Diana,
just went like a mile down the road.
Well, but the thing is with Diana and GB both, you guys were seeing family for like the first time in like maybe years, right?
Yes. Well, my brother, like I said, I have not seen him since before the pandemic.
Wow.
So, and then he had a baby during that time. So I got to meet my nephew.
Yeah.
I'll show pictures later, really, and videos and all the good. But it was awesome. It was great.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, I hadn't seen my dad since before the pandemic. And then I did not realize that I had not been in the same room with both of my brothers in almost a decade. So I don't know how that happened. So what would happen is things would happen and 2 of us could be there and 1 of us couldn't.
It's life. Life happened, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happened. So it made it that much more special. So yeah, it was incredible. Amazing.
That's awesome. Now, Kyle, we were talking a little bit before we got you on here with us when we were off air. So I'm curious. I've never actually been on a cruise at all, but
really,
really,
it's a thing you should do for sure.
It is absolutely a thing you should do.
That's what I
hear. I want to,
but
I have a fear. Like I I don't know. I just have a fear.
Of
I'm going to be the one boat that gets broke down in the middle of the ocean.
Right?
Is that what you're thinking?
I'm going to be the one that gets the pirates, or I'm going to be
The
the one that
pirates.
has the big wave flip you over. That whole Poseidon movie
Nah.
screwed me up so bad.
What was
You'll
the
be
movie?
fine.
The movie with Tom Hanks where the guy says, "I am the captain now. Look at me."
Captain Phillips, right?
Yeah,
Captain
yeah.
Phillips. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a
Maybe.
pirate. That was pirates. I'm like, no thanks.
That's they're
Or
not gonna
I'll
let
be
you
the
get
one that gets the boat that has like the viruses and everybody's sick and you got to quarantine and stay on this little tube. No, thank you.
All right. Well,
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. They
One
want you to have
day-
fun.
perfectly fine.
One
With
day
the
we-
open air.
One day
Yeah.
we should just all get together, all four of us, and we'll just all go on a cruise. Let's do
Let's
that.
go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's
You
great.
can start with a short one, like they do like 3 and 4 day ones, and
Yeah.
you will never like at sea the whole time. So
Yeah.
it'll be
Yeah.
the way to start.
So they port and then you get off, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Land. Yes, I can handle.
But there's so much to do on the cruises that you're not really like, oh my God, I'm just out here. Like there are things
Yeah.
to
That's
do,
true.
and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot. Of
And
fun.
I
and
would
think
love to
about
do
it.
Jericho cruise.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
one to start. It's a real
That's
short
a
one
really
too.
good one. Mhm.
Yeah. And think about like if you go to Vegas or anything, you know how you're in the hotel and the hotel doesn't seem like a hotel anymore, right? Because it just goes on
Right.
forever and ever and ever. The
Mhm.
cruise is the exact same thing. It's just like a giant
Precisely.
hotel that just happens to be on water. That's the only difference.
All right.
That's it.
I'm
And
down.
you don't always even feel that it's on water. Like
For
seriously,
sure.
it's
I
great.
just don't need to see the water because I don't.
You don't have to though. That's the thing. Like you can be, there are so many places inside that don't have windows. So you can quickly forget that the water is there for sure.
You don't get a little nauseous.
No, it has to be like really bad because the boat's so big,
Yeah.
right? Like it would
See,
have
I
to
would
Right.
be the one on the really bad one. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, Diana.
The one time I go,
Diana.
I'll be the one rocking. That boat would be up
No.
and down in this.
just don't go there in hurricane season. And
The
you'll be
Perfect
fine.
Storm,
That
all those
part.
movies.
That part.
Well,
That
here's my
part.
question to you, Kyle. Now, like I said, I haven't been on a cruise ever, but especially during a holiday season, whether it's like Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever. Now, if it's Thanksgiving, do they actually feed you the Thanksgiving feast as far as turkey and all that good stuff?
Turkey, green beans, mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie, they had it all. And
Very
they would bring
nice.
you more. They will gladly bring you
Mhm.
more.
All
Mhm.
right.
As much as you want.
I'm so
You will
I'm ready.
eat
I'm glad.
good.
That sounds amazing, but I'm
Yeah.
glad all that's over.
Right.
Look, well, I'll be honest. Like, I mean, I have had my share over the last couple weeks. We were telling Kyle earlier that, we took off last week because of the holiday. So I feel like I haven't seen you guys. We see each other every single week, whether it's in
Right.
person or at least on Zoom or, we're
Mhm.
talking on Messenger. But I was like,
Yeah.
I missed you guys. I had a week off. So
Yeah.
feels like
Yeah.
forever ago. And I was telling them off air that you see the shirt I got. They threw a little
Oh,
surprise
that's
birthday
right.
party for me over the holiday. So
That's right.
I will tell you this. My family, I don't think they did it on purpose. I'm not certain, but they tried to kill me on my 40th birthday. And I don't know that they did it on purpose. I'm not certain on that, but I don't think. But man,
It looked like they got you really good. They planned
they
out.
scared the crap out of me. Because the thing is, they did it a couple days
Mhm.
removed from my birthday, and we had the we had already done the birthday dinner with a couple of family members, and then this was like 2 days later, and then it was like the entire family, and they had it all set up. The thing is, I was figuring out all the different little lies that they told me after the fact. I'm like, oh,
Of
so this is what
course.
was really happening.
Mhm.
And my mom, of course, was like, oh, dear Lord, forgive me for all the lies we told over the last couple of months trying to make this
Aw,
happen. And I was
such
like,
a
it's all
pure
right.
soul.
I know. I was like, it's
That's
okay.
funny.
Yeah.
But
It's fine.
anyways.
It's cool. It's cool. We'll forgive you for
Yeah.
those, right? Like I think you're okay.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Bless her
right.
heart.
So it was fun. It was they did scare the bejesus out of me, but it's all good. And then of course that went right into Thanksgiving, and between that and birthday stuff, I've had my fill of good eating and a lot of food. So
Right.
and the thing is, the
That-
problem is 2 weeks from now or whenever it is, we have Christmas, so it's going to happen all over again. So
Yeah. The best thing about the cruise is there's no dishes to do, right? Like they cook and do all the
Right.
dishes, right?
Mhm.
Smart.
And you don't
Clean
have to
up.
cook.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Diana, we
Yes.
got to get down on this. I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for it. Just, there's got to be blenders or something. Something. We'll have to work it out.
a good drink package, and then you'll never know, right?
That part.
See, you speaking my language now. I
See,
got you.
we got you. We can hook you up.
I love it. Well, all right. Well, with all the holiday stuff behind us, of course, with our special guest Kyle Matthews, we're coming off of a huge show last month where you had we called it an instant classic 30-minute Iron Man match between yourself and Chip Day. Now, this has been a feud that's been going on for months now, ever since Chip turned on you and just officially broke up Technical Excellence, which, in our opinion, one of the best tag teams that's come along in quite some time. Talk to us a little bit about your preparation, your mindset going into this 30-minute Iron Man match. I mean, obviously you guys have wrestled before in other types of matches, but it's got to be a whole different kind of mindset, I would think, for an Iron Man match, knowing that you for sure have to go 30 full minutes. So just kind of a little bit about your mindset going into that.
Yeah, the biggest thing, number one, is cardio, right? Like at the end of the day, you've got to make 30 minutes. So cardio was preparation number one. So definitely lots of increase in cardio. And then, like, it doesn't seem like it when you say 30 minutes, but 30 minutes, like in anything normal in life, is a long time. It's a whole episode of a TV show, right? Like, I don't think people
nonstop
realize,
with commercials, right?
Yeah, like I don't think people realize, like, that's like a long time to keep people like watching what's going on. So cardio one, and then just mental preparation of like, all right, we've got to go 30 minutes. We got to keep people invested in what's going on, right? Like we got to keep people making sure they're watching. Like that was preparation number two. And then just going and doing it. That's what you got to do. You just got to go do it. Like, trust that you've been doing this a long time and know you can do it. And luckily I was able to win. So
yeah,
we will take the thumbs up on that one.
And that's one thing that you guys really did. The fans, they were constantly engaging and being all into everything you guys were doing in there. You didn't lose them once. So it seemed to me.
Yeah.
They were all invested in what was going on in that ring.
Yeah.
And
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. It was it was a lot, but we got through. So that's what all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing to watch. And, there was a point where you were down definitely one fall, maybe almost even two. And it started really pushing later in the match. So for you, what do you have to do when you've now gone 20 minutes and almost 25 and you're like, how do I get these other two falls? What reserve is this, where the cardio really comes in terms of your reserve to pull it out and literally take it almost to the very last second?
Yeah, so I think if you look at any athlete, for sure, they definitely want to save some in the tank, right? Like NBA players, NFL players, you got to save some like for crunch time, right? So wrestling is the same way, right? You want to save some for crunch time, especially in this situation with what the time limit's going to be compared to a normal match where it could be a minute or an hour, right? So you definitely want to save some for the end in this situation. So that's what I was able to do, save some for the end.
As you mentioned that, I want to ask you this question, because a normal match could go a minute to an hour. Is it easier to prepare for an Iron Man match where you have 30 minutes, or a match that, if it's a title match that is set for an hour time limit, which is easier to prepare for?
Oh, that's a solid question that I never thought about. I would just say they're different, probably. I don't know that one's easier than the other. I would just say that they're probably different mindsets. Like, obviously in a normal match, you're just trying to get it over with as quickly as possible, right? Compared to you got to reserve some energy for minute 28, 29, 30. So I would just say they're different.
Okay, that's a fair question.
Now going into this, go ahead, Diana.
With the Iron Man match, though, it's not that you have to go full force for 30 minutes straight. You can slow it down, right? I mean, your main goal is just to get the most falls. For sure, yeah. There's definitely a time to press the pedal down, right, to the floorboard, and there's a time to, kind of just creep along, because you have to, or if you go full 30 minutes the whole time, you're going to gas out in like 5, right? Definitely. Right. You're going to be screwed for the last 25. So sprint that first lap of a mile, and then you're dead. Right.
Yeah.
So leading up to this matchup, the month before, Todd Sexton had come out and he set this match up. But in addition to the feud that had been ongoing between yourself and Chip, he added the stipulation that whoever won this match will become the number one contender for the SHW title. So what did that do to your mindset here? Because on one hand, I would think that you're more focused on, you just really have it out for Chip. He's got it out for you. And you really kind of want to, I don't know if this is kind of ending the feud or putting a nail in the coffin on this feud or whatever. But then on the other hand, now you're thinking, well, here's my shot at getting the a number one contendership. So did that kind of mess with your preparation a little bit?
I think the preparation is still the same, right? You got to make the 30 minutes, but I think it definitely put more prestige on the match, right? At this point, it's not just let's figure out who's the best wrestler at this point, right? Like now it's leading on to more things down the line, right? So I just think that it just put more prestige on it compared to, like, I'm not preparing any differently, knowing that, that it could be a title match at the next show.
Yeah. Well, and I told Gerard, I think on commentary, talk about pulling it out in the bottom of the ninth inning. The way you won that match, I mean, it was absolutely incredible. And it could have gone, this is no knock to you, no knock to Chip. I mean, it could have gone either way very easily. And the way it played out, man, literally with seconds literally on the clock. It was crazy. So
yeah, that's last second, throw it up from the half court, right? Like, like throw everything in there, right? Like that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And congrats to you, of course, for winning and becoming the number one contender. Now, something kind of crazy happened. It's the world of wrestling. You never know what's going to happen. We say it in SHW all the time. You never know what's going to happen. This kind of was out of our hands. This happened away from SHW. Our champion, Cruel, got injured and is going to have shoulder surgery and is relinquishing the title over to Brooklyn. And of course, Brooklyn, having talks with Gary Lamb and Todd Sexton, came up with this idea for a five-way scramble. So luckily, you still had that number one contender opportunity. So you're in this thing. Yeah. Well, the thing is, when it first came out, I know Gary is a hardcore Gunner fan and was pushing for Gunner to get that title opportunity. And my thought was, now, wait a second. And I think this is where Todd Sexton was coming from as well. Well, Kyle won the opportunity. He won the number one contenders match. So he's got to be in this thing. And then, of course, Brooklyn, being a member of Dishonor, looking to put this match in favor of Dishonor. So you got three members of Dishonor: Sunny Days, Sal Renaro, Carly Bravo, yourself, and Gunnar Miller. I mean, what an incredible matchup this is. We didn't know. We knew it was going to be a great match between you and Cruel, and we did not know we were going to get this five-way scramble. So this is going to be insane. We're guaranteed a brand new SHW champion for sure. And I'll be honest, I know I'm supposed to be unbiased, and it's not just because you're here. I'm rooting for you, and
I appreciate that.
I know you got your hands full here, but I mean, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts going from having this singles match, which I think might have been literally and figuratively one of your biggest challenges ever in Cruel?
Sure. Yeah.
So you're thinking of that, and then all of a sudden you get the swerve, and now you got this five-way. So what's going through your head?
There's a lot to unpack here. First off, I mean, I know he's a member of Dishonor, and he's not exactly everyone's favorite person, but at the end of the day, you still never want to see anyone go down, right?
Right.
So, thoughts to him. I hope it goes fine with his whatever injury he has. So I hope he gets back, because you don't ever want to see anyone go down.
Yeah.
Right. So that's number one. Number two, I was definitely looking forward to a singles match with Cruel. That is a match that's never happened.
Wow.
We were actually tag team partners for like a smidgen in PK wrestling. Yeah.
When would this have been?
Cruel. 2016-17. We were in a group. It was me, him, Slim J.
Okay.
You guys familiar with Slim J?
Yeah.
Tommy Too Much, and we were managed by Bill Behrens. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll send you guys a flyer. With us. We were tag team champions.
I want to see footage. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I'm sure it exists. It was in Peach State in Carrollton, so we were in a tag team. The pre-Cruel, this was Logan Creed days. So
Hey,
was this the blue jumpsuit, the little one?
Yeah.
Listen, you have to be careful uttering that name, because I've made that mistake and Brooklyn has come after me. So
well,
just,
we're talking about the past. So.
I know. I'm just warning
Can we
you.
bleep that? Can we
Right,
bleep
we might have to go back
post?
and edit it.
Put the dolphin noise over it or something.
I don't know what is that, a dolphin? I don't know.
Yeah, that was good. So I was definitely looking forward to that match for that reason. Maybe I knew a little something maybe there from the past about Cruel that others maybe wouldn't have known. But
yeah,
like I said, I hope it's okay for him. But moving on to this 5-way, which is crazy in and of itself because it's an odd number, right? Like so that makes it weird to start with.
Right.
So I go from having a 50% chance of winning to now a 20% chance, which is very ironic, being that this will be my 20th anniversary show wrestling.
That's right.
Yeah.
So the 20s are flying everywhere. So I feel like odds are in my favor, and maybe we'll just get the 20s across and I can walk out winning. But it's a very weird stylistic match, right? Like everybody has their own weird style in this match that are you would think would be opposites, but like they say, style make fights, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And according to the poster, it's a 5-way elimination. So it wouldn't be like a triple threat where it's the first pinfall wins. So it looks like it's an elimination style match from my understanding. So
better get that cardio back up. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just
better get
right
straight back into the cardio.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take out 5 or 4 guys. So man, it's gonna be amazing.
Go ahead. I don't know what the strategy is, right? Obviously, there's 3 Dishonor guys and Gunner and I. So you would assume they're going to try to take us out. So maybe do Gunner and I maybe team up? Do we maybe not team up? Do we, there's a lot that can be going on here. And Gunner and I go way back, right? Like I've known him since he started wrestling. So
wow,
that's just because I'm old and I know everyone since they started wrestling.
I'm so sick of everybody saying they're old. Oh my God.
We had Adam Jacobs on not too long ago. And
he really is old though. Adam Jacobs.
Look, B-Dub is 52. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that.
Thanks. Just ask Diana Sano, and But Diana did save it sort of. She goes, "Well, you look good for 52," and I went,
"Right, you do. You look great for 52." I mean, you were wearing that 52,
right? Yeah. So like I said, there's a whole bunch of dynamics here in this match that will make it real interesting, I think, for considering the original match can no longer take place.
Well, let me just go back to before it became the Iron Man match, before that became a number 1 contenders match. Chip had previously said that he was interested in the title and being, going for the belt or whatever.
Yeah.
Never heard much out of you on what your view was on your goal. Was this something that, I mean, everybody wants to be champ, right?
Course.
Everybody wants to go all the way. But like not long game, but like short game. What was your view when he said this is going to be a number 1 contenders match?
Yeah.
And was it like, oh my God, I get my opportunity? Or
for sure, right? Like I don't know that. I think looking back on it, I don't know that I've been in a main event at SHW, right? Like I think I've been in some semi-mains, maybe for the tag title. So that was definitely a goal to get up to the main event. Yeah. So obviously most 90% of the shows, the main event is the title match, right?
Right.
So and like honestly, this will be my legit 20th anniversary wrestling. So every time I walk out there, my match, the amount of matches I'm having is going to be less and less, right? Just based on Mother Nature, right? Like I can only do it for so long. Obviously, I don't do it as much as I used to, but like I'm a human being. Like I can only get beat up so long, right? So obviously, anytime I get a chance to be the champion, like that's the goal, right? Like anytime you get a chance, you gotta take it. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Interestingly enough, you mentioned obviously 3 members of Dishonor in this match, you and Gunner. We've asked other wrestlers who come on the podcast this, and I want to ask you this as well. Where do you fit in this ongoing war between Dishonor and SHW? Do you feel like, for instance, going into this match, 20 years, it's an opportunity for you to win the championship, and it's also potentially a win for SHW? Or are you just, hey, I'm just kind of tunnel vision, Kyle Matthews, that's that?
Yeah, I think if we're drawing a line in the sand, right? Like are you SHW or are you Dishonor? I'm 100% SHW, right? Like,
okay, yeah,
but at the same time, like I haven't really been like they haven't come after me necessarily, like Dishonor, right? So like I'm kind of in my own space. I've been kind of in the Chip Kyle space because it's been
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on for a minute now, right? Hopefully we've
yeah,
got to rest on that for a minute. But
Mhm.
so but if we're drawing a line in the sand, SHW all the way.
Okay, okay,
Yep.
good to know.
Yeah, what
Good to
Same
know.
team.
Yeah, for sure.
We've I don't know if this is intentional. Well, I guess it is kind of intentional that we haven't necessarily had anybody from. Well, we did have Carly Bravo on,
We
and
did.
that a while
Yeah, but
back.
he left abruptly and mad. So
I was gonna say that
That
didn't go
sounds
too.
normal.
That didn't go too well. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like, is there a reason we haven't had us Dishonor on? And I guess there is kind of a reason, but
I
yeah,
get enough of them at the show.
Right.
right, yeah. I can
Yeah, I
only
was
take
trying
so
to-
much getting yelled at right in the face, but
Right. By Brooklyn.
at least like I'm just
All
getting
the
yelled
yelling.
at and not physically
Yeah.
assaulted like some of
Right.
you guys. So I guess
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah, I was trying to think back to figure out. Let's see, Gunner, I've wrestled a few times in Anarchy Wrestling back in the day, right? When he was on a big run there. Sal Renaro, I've probably wrestled 70 times in my life over the years.
Wow.
That would be a good match. Too.
Sunny Days, I think we've only wrestled once last year at the KLT Fan Fest.
Okay.
Oh,
And then Carly, we had the tag match with him and Sean Dean, right? So I think that's our only interaction. So definitely Sal the most, and then Gunner would be number 2 on our interaction. So
yeah, these types of matches, it's gonna be interesting for sure. And you already touched on it, but like, you've got 2 pretty firm SHW guys, you and Gunner, and then the 3 Dishonor guys. So I would think there'd be a little bit of teaming up, but just like we say in all these kind of matches, like it's going to be a very short-lived alliance because in the end, it's every man for himself. So
for sure, yeah. And you would think maybe they would be on the same team, but who knows what their individual motives are, right? Like,
right.
Just because they're on the squad doesn't mean that they don't have individual goals too, right? We've seen that how many times in wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Well, that's my thought too, because I know Brooklyn's thinking behind this was I got to find a way to keep the belt within Dishonor. But when it comes down to those 3 guys, God forbid, but say something happens where they take you out and take Gunner out, and it comes down to those 3 guys, it's every man for himself. And certainly,
is it though?
Any 3 of them, I would think, would want to hold the main title.
Yeah,
but is it?
So.
And then to throw another little wrinkle in this, like I don't know what's going on with Joe, but like you would think he's somebody
Joe
that
has some very, very strong words last show.
Yeah.
Well, he's got kind of like you had your thing with Chip for a while. He's got this thing going on with Murder One lately.
Yeah.
So I don't know where his mind's at, if it's solely focused on Murder One, if he's feeling slighted that he didn't get put into this 5-way scramble.
Let's find a crack. That's what we're trying to do. We're finding
a crack. He is a former champion.
Well, and I think there is a crack. If you think back to the words that he said at the last show, he didn't exactly talk about allegiance to Dishonor as though he loved Dishonor. There was kind of a method to the madness, which could arguably be why he might not be involved in this match, which is equally crazy. Let me ask you this, Kyle. Of all the people in this match, is there anyone that you are most concerned with in terms of who you need to overcome? Obviously, it is an elimination match. So in your mind, if it comes down to you and some final person, A, who are you most concerned about? And B, who would you like it to come down to, you and whomever, at the end of this match?
I think they each present their own problem, right? Like Gunner clearly is like NCAA football player. Like on the football field, I would not want him running full speed at me. I don't want him running full speed at me in the ring and spearing me out of my shoes, right? Like, so he can instantly turn it on in a short area, right, and just murder you. So I think that's his quality I would be most concerned about. Sunny Days is the loose cannon, right? Like you never know what's going on between those ears. You never know when the switch is just going to flip. Sal, the familiarity with Sal is concerning, right? We've wrestled 70-ish times, 50, 60, 70 times. Like he saw me since I was 2006, probably is the first time we wrestled. So like he's seen me grow, you know, at that point he was already a former ROH tag champion, right? Like, so he's seen me grow from like the bottom of Georgia wrestling all the way up to the top, right? And then all the way in between. And with Carly, the unfamiliarity there, right? Like, and he is new and hungry and super flashy and aerial, and like he can do it all. So I think they all present their own sort of little problem that if I got to the end with them, that I would have to overcome to become the champion. There's no one that's easier or less easy, I think, at this point.
Sure. No, that meant you mentioned Georgia, going from the bottom of Georgia wrestling to the top of Georgia wrestling. I have to ask you this, and I've never had a chance to ask you this. 8-time technical wrestler of the year. And then they have named the award in your honor. Man, how does that feel to know that other wrestlers will win an award potentially, and you yourself could potentially win an award named after you?
Yeah, it's real crazy, man. Like, I started in this little building in Rome, Georgia, that what eventually became KLT years later, right? They took years off. So like I was wrestling in front of, like, if we had 50 people, we thought it was WrestleMania. Like we thought we were like, we are going to like do every crazy move in the history of man. And then like I slowly worked my way up, like learning from like awesome people along the way, like Ted Allen and Jimmy Rave. Sal was very big in my, you know, helping influence me. So it's just crazy to think that all this time and effort I put in like pays off, right? Like the people see it and like appreciate, you know, what I do in the ring. So it's real crazy.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and of course, earlier in the show, we talked about the GWH Awards coming up, and we'll talk about that more in the coming weeks, I'm sure. But I'm so pumped to see this 5-way match, and I'm so excited that you're getting this opportunity, you know, after winning the #1 contendership. And of course, how fitting would it be to win the whole thing on your 20th anniversary? I mean, it would be amazing. So
here's one more tidbit for you guys. This is just random thing. My daughter is coming to the show. She's their first time coming to a show.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's incredible.
So yeah.
And how old is she?
Anniversary. She is 7, so it'll be her first time. So
So has she been a little exposed to it? Do you guys watch it at home or anything?
She's watched some WWE. She's seen some videos of me, but she's never like seen like me live. So it'll be very interesting to see what she thinks and what I mean, like if there's a day to win, right? Like is there a day to go all in, right? Gotta put it all in.
So I'm kind of curious, what do you think, what's your mindset of having her there? Do you think she'll get kind of scared? Like, I'm always curious when, like, because Gunner, you know, Gunner's son's there all the time, but he's seen it so much and he's so into it. And you're talking about your daughter being a little new to it and seeing you for the first time. Are you concerned she might get a little worried or?
Probably she may, but you know, it's okay. That's, you know, she'll figure it out and we'll, I'm really excited though. I mean, like if there's a day to win, a day to go all in, this is it.
That'd be awesome, man.
That's the day. Wow, I'm excited.
That is so cool. That's so cool. Well, real quick.
Best of luck,
yeah, absolutely. Best of luck. And before we let you go, of course, we're gonna give you a quick rundown of the card. Now, we're not going to go in depth like we normally would because next week at our pre-show, of course, we'll dive into it and kind of get into all these matches. But just to give you guys a rundown, your former foe, well, I guess he's probably still your foe, former partner, Chip Day will be in action against the returning Sean Legacy. Now, Legacy was at the most recent Rumble Jack, but prior to that, it had been, gosh, well over a year, I think, since the last time he's had a singles match at SHW. So we're excited to see that one. You got Murder One going one-on-one with Adrian Hawkins. No telling what kind of mindset Murder One's in after the confrontation with Joe Black at the Petty Party at last month's show. But of course, Adrian Hawkins returning. He's not a pushover by any means. He's been around a long time. He knows Murder One. They've known each other for a long time. So that's going to be a good one. Talking about returning, Cyrus the Destroyer back from Japan, returning once again to SHW, taking on Diana's favorite, I think. Is that true, Diana, or no? Am I getting that one wrong?
I'm going to bring my little ring. Zach can play like ring toss with his hair. I'm doing it.
We're talking about Bryce
doing it.
Cannon. By the way, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the old character Ed Grimley, Martin Short's character from SNL or from SCTV, one of them. But he had the hair. It looks like Bryce Cannon's hair. But anyways, it was an old Martin Short character. I'm dating myself.
You know what? He keeps getting mad at me when I introduce him as the fret boy. I'm the fret daddy. I'm the fret daddy. I have proof. I have pictures of his merch that says Bryce Cannon fret boy on it, ready to go. Yes.
Did he like grow up or something? Did he come from a boy to a daddy? Like, I have questions.
Still living his college days. I don't know the whole story. I don't know.
You're right, Kyle.
Always be frat boy.
You're right, Kyle. Does he have children that we don't know about? Does that make him daddy?
That's what makes you daddy.
I don't know.
Right? Like, I have questions.
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
I don't want to.
Well, we have another great match coming up. Jordan Kingsley, SHW original, been here since day one. We talk about it all the time. Had the very first match, had the very first win in SHW, taking on up-and-comer Shoot Taylor, which is an amazing new prospect coming into the Georgia scene. Of course, he got involved in the tag match last month and kind of cost Jordan and Adam the tag titles last month at the show. So Jordan,
and he has cool entrance music.
Well, he does. He very much does.
Yes. Yes.
But Jordan's going to be looking for a little measure of revenge there against Shoot Taylor. And then, of course, the best of 7 series, the best in the South best of 7 series is continuing with match number 3 taking place, of course, next Friday at SHW 46 with Owen Knight and Nagicism. So
do we know the standings? Is it tied
I think
now?
it's tied 1-1 at the moment. And so this will be match number 3. And looking forward to that one as well. These guys always put on an amazing show, whether they're fighting other people or whether they're fighting each other. Always going to be a great match. And then, of course, the big 5-way scramble, the elimination scramble for the SHW championship. And as we said, we are guaranteed a brand new champion. And like you said, Kyle, we always, you always hate to see somebody go down with an injury, and whether you like Cruel or not. And lately we have not necessarily, because he's part of Dishonor. But I hate to see him injured, and we wish him well and hope he recovers and comes back at full strength, if not even better. But all that being said, he still had to relinquish the title, and we need a new champion. So we're going to find out just who that's going to be. And, of course, good luck to Kyle next Friday. But
I appreciate that.
Before we wrap it up here, do you have anything else you want to let the fans know before we let you go?
No, just thanks for supporting indie wrestling. That's, if it's not for the fans, we're all just people in underwear, like wrestling in front of no one, right? So it's kind of weird. So yeah, just thanks for supporting and keep watching. And yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely. I always want to give props to the fans too, because if it weren't for the fans, not only would you guys not be doing what you're doing, but then we wouldn't be doing what we're doing.
Right.
And luckily for everybody, I'm not doing commentary in my underwear. So I'm just saying, you're welcome, folks.
What if one day they switched up and all the wrestlers just wore their suits, and then you guys wore your like wrestling tights? That would be so funny.
Then nobody
awesome.
would. Nobody would.
Awesome.
No, nobody would show up. No fans would show up.
You
and I would
like
understand.
the gladiators or something, or
I want a full bodysuit.
Awesome.
I want the bodysuit like MVP would wear. Maybe I can pull that off.
The zip up.
Yeah. Maybe.
Like wrestler 1, wrestler 2.
Hilarious.
Well, anyways, we will see you guys live from the Action Building next Friday as we do this show live for the pre-show for SHW 46. Big thanks again to Kyle Matthews, and until we see you next time, this has been
SHW.
This is our wrestling.
That's right.